Hey folks, welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. Who's Next by The Who. I only just recently purchased it on vinyl, but I've known about the record for decades and known a lot of the songs on it. But actually just listening to it like an album, that's only a recent thing for me, like maybe the last 20 years or something. I don't know about you, Adrian. Were you listening to the record a lot as a complete album?
Yeah, I've listened to it a number of times. It was a while before I realized that it was kind of the soundtrack to a project of Pete Townsend's called Lifehouse.
That's right. He actually had this whole thing, kind of a follow-up to Tommy. And this time, the actual idea of music and how it attunes to your body and how you might use it to communicate with others. They just used songs that they already kind of had together for the project and made this album out of it. So the lyrics don't really make sense on their own unless you kind of know that there's this concept in the back. That's about the best I can describe it. There is a plot line, and the lyrics make a little more sense if you look at the plot line.
Yeah, I mean that's. I think that's what happened. They had this idea for Lifehouse, and it kind of. I don't know. They just kind of did it, but they didn't actually release the movie or whatever. It was going to be a movie, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a whole plan for it, for a movie and everything, and they were even going to go back to it after they did Quadrophenia. So they really wanted to do this, but it just didn't quite work out that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've managed to listen to it for years without realizing there was a story behind it.
It seems so strange. I mean, if you listen to the words, if you look at the words to Baba O'Reilly.
Yeah, I was looking at the lyrics. You wouldn't really know there's much of a story behind it, but it was, I think the name came from a couple of different people influential to Pete Townsend. There was the Meher Baba, who's a spiritual advisor to Pete Townsend, and then there was Terry O'Reilly, I think his name was, or Terry Riley. He's a composer. So that's where the title comes from. And there's the ARP synthesizer. I think that's an ARP synthesizer.
It is. You know what? It's exactly the same kind that Dad had. Barbara O'Reilly actually has probably the lowest word count of all the songs on the album. And this is it starts off with this family off in the north of London, maybe Scotland or something. And they're off, like in the fields, essentially, like maybe a place where there's no electricity. Yeah, potentially, places where they live pretty naturally without much of the modern world, but they have farms and all that. This is a family, and the daughter decided to leave. And that's who Sally is. Oh. She was going to go down and check out the rock and roll thing going on in London. Mm-hmm. I think she was drawn by the music. Yeah, so somebody came along and brought her. That's all this is about. This is like the dad, Mm-hmm. Out here in the fields, I fight for my meals, I get back into my living. I don't need to fight to prove I'm right, and I don't need to be forgiven. And then this is a whole other thing, Pete Townsend comes in here. Mm-hmm. Don't cry, don't raise your eye. And then it's back to the kids running off to London. The exodus is here, the happy ones are near. Let's get together before we get much older. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. See, it makes a whole lot more sense if you know some of the backstory. So great song. But yeah, that's what those words mean. The thing is, the song is so great, probably people don't even hear the words half the time.
Oh, I'm sure there's not many people who know the song and know the story behind it. And I've only known that there was a story behind it for the past few years.
Oh, yeah.
I've been listening for decades.
So the next song is Bargain, and that's another one that's... So it sounds
like a love song when you first hear it.
Yeah, it's young love. Yeah. And, this guy's really suffering, apparently. Yeah, I'd gladly lose me to find you. I'd gladly give up all I had to find you. I'd suffer anything and be glad. To win you, I'd stand naked, stoned, and stabbed. I'd call that a bargain, the best I ever had. Pretty intense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To catch you, I'm going to run and never stop. To find you, I'm going to drown an unsung man. Surrender My Good Life for Bad. And you almost wonder, I wonder if this is for music and not like a person after all. I kind of wonder that.
It's possible.
I sit looking round, cut my face in the mirror. No, I'm worth nothing without you.
So these are some serious self-esteem issues.
One and one make one. That free ride to me.
Oh, wait, and then we go into this part. These things are all iconic. All these parts of this song, a lot of wacky stuff going on in there, and that sticks with you.
Yeah.
You know, like I know I've heard these songs for years and years, you know, independent of the album. And it's because they're such ear candy. You know, you remember them. They're so distinctive and original, but catchy.
Very well produced, too,
Yeah.
I would say. The next one is Love Ain't for Keeping.
That's right. Love Ain't for Keeping and My Wife are almost supposed to be like two sides of the same song.
Oh.
You know, because one is very much a, hey, love ain't for keeping, come sit down beside me, you know.
And the other one is a guy was out drinking all night and his wife thinks he was with another woman, so she's out to kill him.
Yes.
And he's got to keep running.
And he's afraid.
Yes. I heard it was the one song that wasn't related to Lifehouse.
Oh, My Wife is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
'Cause That was,
Yeah.
that was penned by John Entwistle, not by Pete.
Yeah, and it seems like Entwistle tended to get one song on each record. And
Yeah.
this was the one for this one.
Yeah.
I think Love Ain't for Keeping is a pretty good song as well. And then My Wife comes along and it's just hilarious, you know.
Yeah.
But you feel bad for the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's gonna get an ass whooping is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So that brings us into The Song Is Over, which is a beautiful piece of work. That's Nicky Hopkins, by the way.
On piano?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the same guy that played on most of the Stones records from, you know, during their glory era. At this point, it's The Who. They probably had 16 tracks, but that would have been pretty new. Yeah, all that. That's
Powerful lyrics.
yeah, which are all about taking my song or finding my harmony or the being in tune or, you know, like it's all about what is going on with him, you know. Say the song is over, that's a big turning point for, you know, and he's kind of defiant about it. Yeah. See, like the song is over, it's all behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I should have known that she tried to find me. This might have something to do with Sally again. So see, our love is over. The song is over. She was the first song I ever sang, but it stopped as soon as it began. That's Lifehouse, right down the middle. It's interesting. You know, like this song is over. I'm left with only tears. So clearly there's, you know, talking about searching for a note, you know.
And then there's the next song after that, one of my personal favorites, Getting in Tune.
Oh, yeah.
I just like that tune. And
that's the same kind of, look at that. I'm singing this note because it fits in well with the chords I'm playing. And it's all about himself, you know. It's like I'm in tune, and I'm going to tune right in on you. I get a little tired of having to say to you, come here often. But when I look in your eyes and see the harmonies,
and the heartache
heartache softens. See? It's the Lighthouse Special. That's what I'm at. The Lighthouse Special. That's what I'm saying.
I'm in June.
That piano, man. 1970 acoustic piano right there.
Chord progression is very nice on that one.
Yeah, I agree. Really nice. Yeah, that's one of the things that really sets this album apart for me in terms of really heavy rock albums. Pete Townsend was really able to set a mood with the chords that he chose and the way that he chose to produce them. You know, I mean, put them in a song and give them to the band and have it sound like that. Those were some good instincts that he was working on there. I can't think of a whole lot of artists that were being that almost subversively melodic.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like, don't tell anyone that it's this good, but it is, because the Who's always, kind of strutting around like, they're the tough guy band, they're the ones that used to beat each other up, and smash things.
Yeah, I think I heard about that once. Roger Daltrey wasn't too popular in the beginning because he didn't force his rules or something by slugging people in the band.
Yeah, how to win friends and influence people.
Yeah.
Roger Daltrey style.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Yeah, they kicked him out. Finally, he's like, please let me back in. And they're like, all right, well, that all's over now, okay? I mean, that,
Yeah, the whole
stop punching us.
attitude.
Yeah, occasionally there's a slug here or a slug there, once in a while. But so that's the thing. That's their reputation. But then meanwhile, they make this incredibly beautiful record. There's so many songs that have incredible things going on.
It's a great record. There are a lot of famous songs on that record.
The next one's Going Mobile.
I can make it on the road going mobile. Keep me moving out in the woods.
More cool synth.
When I'm driving, when I'm mobile.
So watch the Police and the Taxman Miss Me or something like that. There we go. Watch the Police and the Taxman Miss Me. I'm mobile.
Yeah. Anyway, a really cool song. And again, I even that one has a really neat transition in it.
Yeah.
Into something quite different. They just all have these things where they drive really well and in a way that keeps your attention and invests you emotionally. And then it stops for a second, and it's almost like there's a soliloquy for a moment or a reflection moment. And then they just snap back into it. The same thing happens in Behind Blue Eyes, because you got all that stuff in the beginning, and then Keith Moon's out for like 2 minutes in the front.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty amazing.
To be faded, telling only lies.
Keith Moon comes in. When my fist clenches, crack it open.
When my fist clenches, crack it open. Lose my cool. When I snap, act like a fool. And if I swallow anything evil, finger down. Shiver, please give me anywhere you go.
Choice words.
No one knows what it's like behind blue eyes.
It's fun listening to Keith Moon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think he even used hi-hats, except maybe early on. I think he was just using ride and crash.
Yeah, well, I think there are a few songs where he does use a hi-hat, but there's not many of them.
Well, then that leads us to the last song, which of course is a classic rock staple and a legitimate classic.
The men who spurred us on sit in judgment of all wrong.
Oh, yeah.
They decide, and the shotgun sings the song.
All of this comes back to music again.
Yeah. I'll get on my knees and pray we don't get fooled again.
It's something like that. Like,
years have all grown longer overnight. That's an interesting choice of words.
He's basically complaining that no matter who you vote for, you kind of end up with the same treatment.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah. When you hear people reference that, that's actually kind of what they mean. And they may not have even heard the song. It's just kind of entered cultural vernacular, So
it's a really important song, by the way.
True,
rock
absolutely.
and roll.
That's a lot of tracks.
Yeah. That must have been hard to do. Been doing one note at a time. Harp synthesizer.
No hi-hats.
I don't hear any. Actually, I'm hearing something that sounds kind of like a hi-hat.
Yeah, I think Daltrey's playing a tambourine.
Oh, okay.
We don't get fooled again.
It stops again, and there's all kinds of great stuff.
It's a spacey part, the harp synthesizer.
That kind of also fits in with the cover when you think about it.
Yeah.
It
kind of does.
Or what have you. I learned about this cover though that only one of the guys actually took a piss on this thing, and the rest was actually they used a film canister with water in it to get the make it look that way. So, which I thought was pretty funny. And then they doctored up the sky to look even more dramatic.
Oh, okay. There's at least 3 tracks there on the ARP synthesizer.
No, I think that the sequencer, that's when you heard the noise that he was making. So he'd be holding down a note, then he'd go to another note, but no matter when he actually hit the note, you wouldn't actually hear that new note until it was time for it to come up.
Yeah.
Line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're actually out of sequence by a few beats. By the time he finishes his fill. We definitely endorse this record.
Yes.
I would give this easy 4.5, 4.75, maybe even 5 stars. Just as a piece.
I'd give it 4.5, but that's I probably wouldn't give 5 stars to anybody, but I'd give them 4.5 stars.
They really did it on this record. That's why everybody thinks this is their best record, and they're probably right. It's just everything came together. Yeah, one of the advantages of writing way more than you need and then condensing,
Yeah, that's true.
We've done The Who before on this channel, and we did The Who Sell Out earlier. But their new album is not bad either. I mean, obviously, it's just Roger and Pete now, with the other 2 guys, having passed along. But they still sound like The Who. If you're ever interested in just hearing that, that's... Sure what they're up to. That's a pretty good one. So that was really fun, and we endorse it. We love it. We hope you do too. If you have any ideas for shows for the future, put them down below. And also, while you're down there, would you mind subscribing and tell us what you thought? Anything like that. Anything that you feel like sharing with us, we'd love to hear. So with that, we will catch you in our next video. Take care, folks.
See you guys later.